As we head to our old town to pick up some crap to set up shop here in our new town, why don't I share with you guys some tips for choosing an insurance company? I know it seems a little bit dull, but you're actually going to do business with four insurance companies, probably most of your adult or working life. Uh, that would be, of course, a car insurance, some sort of homeowners or renters insurance, like I've talked about before. Health insurance, of course, although you may end up working through your company for that as a benefit through work. And, of course, I've mentioned life insurance. There's a few other types of coverage that you can have: accidental death and dismemberment, flood insurance, fire insurance, some things of that nature. But regardless, the theme remains the same, and even though they might sell a different product, these tips are going to be solid general tips, regardless of who you're doing business with. For starters, many people choose insurance coverage just based on the cost. Whatever's cheapest is whatever I'm getting. And this is the absolute worst way to choose which insurance company you're going to do business with. And many people end up regretting their choice later. Why? Well, because cost is only an issue in the absence of value. If you like that saying, you can. I could credit previous boss for sharing that with me. What did I hit? I hit chicken? Chicken, maybe? Dang, I don't know. There it is, rabbit. Yes, let's get that rabbit. Anyway, so as I was saying, cost is only an issue in the absence of value. It's a good thing. You guys can steal it if you want. So, the most important factor, really, when it comes to insurance is when shit happens, will they actually pay? That's the most important factor. And you learn that sometimes through trial and error. For instance, I sold life insurance for Primerica. They were a really good company to work with because they actually bragged about how much they had paid out in benefits to their clients. In fact, they even paid out on policies that had recently lapsed. That's how good of a company they actually were. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed working with them so much. Now, I do not any longer get paid by Primerica, so this is not a paid endorsement from them. But we would have conventions, 50,000 people at a convention, and they would have people stand up. Dang, this lake is bigger than I thought. They would have people stand up and share their stories of how Primerica had helped them. I remember one gentleman in particular had utilized his accelerated death benefit on his life insurance to travel and try an experimental procedure that ended up saving his life. So, used his life insurance to save his life. How cool is that? I know it's a bit of a tangent, but it still has merit. Damn, I am running over animals and not even trying. Where was this one? Okay, I'm in a bit of a rush, so I'm not sure how long I want to be distracted with this. Anyway, guys, so moving on to the next thing, I've had to fight with insurance companies to get them to pay out on legitimate claims, even when their client was in the wrong. I had an experience with State Farm. I was involved in a 6-car pileup. Dude just didn't stop and ran into 5 cars in front of him. So I had hurt my back and everything, so I had to fight and fight and fight, even though their client was in the wrong 100% to get a payment out of them. So it is worthwhile choosing a company that takes pride in actually paying out on their claims. You can also, the next criteria is, can you easily get a live person on the phone that speaks your native language? This may seem like a simple enough thing, but I should not have to jump through a bunch of hoops here in America to find somebody that speaks English, and that speaks English without an accent so thick that I can understand them. I'm not being racist. I'm just saying that when you're conducting important business, you want to be able to understand what the hell the person is saying, okay? Now, if Spanish is your is your native language, then by the same token, you want to be easily able to get a hold of a person that speaks Spanish and does it not broken half-ass Spanish, but actual real legitimate Spanish, okay? So that's what I'm getting at there. And do they take the time to try to explain fully explain the answer to the question that you're asking? Or do they jerk you around and try to get you off the phone as quickly as possible? And if you do manage to get an answer out of them, will they actually put that answer in writing and send it to you either via snail mail or in an email? Because that is a very big deal to me. I want to know that I don't want to be able to just say, oh, Bob told me. No, I want to have proof of what Bob told me was going to be the case, because companies have been known to go back on their word or say one thing and do another. Are the claims process simple and painless? Or do they try to make you do all of the work? So here's where I could give another company a bit of a plug. And actually, I no longer even do business with this company because I found somebody a little bit better. But we used to do business with Progressive. Had an accident, had a claim, and the agent came out the next day and took care of our claim and printed our check right there in their car. That was cool, my friends, having your check the same day. Not having to dick around, not having to hem and haw with somebody, chase them down on the phone, play tag. No. Getting an answer, getting a check the same day, that was awesome. Because we were able to get our car taken care of and get back on the road in no time flat. By the same token, had a claim with them. We had homeowners insurance through them and had hail damage on our roof. They sent an adjuster out, and the young lady was up on our roof like a daggone squirrel before I could even see anything, checking things out. And once again, the process was completely painless and quick. So some kudos to them. I hope they're still the same, because that was something I definitely loved about doing business with them. Now, some other thoughts, other things to consider. The company, how long has the company that you're working with, how long have they been in business? The company that you're working with, are they big enough to be able to be financially stable? You may think these are dumb questions. What do you care if they're big enough to be financially stable? Oh, you definitely care. Because insurance is about spreading around risk. That's how insurance works, guys. So for your car insurance, they insure a ton of people, and whenever there's a claim, they have the money because of the premiums that they collected from everybody, okay? So you want to know that they're large enough to where if something happens, especially like a disaster, for instance, if that happens, that you're still taken care of, that there's enough other customers to be able to support you. If it's just a small local company and they're trying to do car insurance and there's a natural disaster, a bunch of trees fall down on cars or a bunch of cars get damaged in a flood, whatever the case may be, they're not going to have enough money to pay out on all those claims. And so they're going to go bankrupt and you're going to be left holding the bag. You're not going to have any recourse to fall back on, okay? So you want to know that your insurance company is big enough to support their claims, and that they've been around for a while. Let somebody else be the guinea pig when it comes to insurance companies. Let somebody else figure out whether or not this company is a good company or not, and whether or not they're going to stick around and make the grade. Okay? You will definitely want to be with a company that has been in business for years, and that has a long track record of good customer service to go along with those years of being in business. Because if they're not, if the company that you're looking to do business with, if the thing that they pride themselves on the most is being the dirt cheapest coverage, like the General or something. Now, I've done no business with the General, but that is their thing. They state minimums at the rock bottom prices, right? If they guarantee cheap coverage, then most of the time they're looking for a way to exclude, not pay, or drop you from their company if you have a claim, something of that nature, or their customer service is going to be crap and they're going to try and find a way to ignore you until you go away. I've been in a situation where I've been dealing with an insurance company, and that was the game that they played. As a matter of fact, my neighbor across the street has been in that situation. She was in a car accident. She hurt her neck and back pretty bad. And they kept jerking her around. Oh, you need to go get this test, and oh, you need to go do that thing, or whatever. And they kept playing the game, and it wasn't until she got a person on the phone who said, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but if this claim isn't taken care of in the next couple of days, then the period during which you could get any sort of relief will have expired. So that's literally what the company was doing. They were jerking around any way that they could until the statute of limitations, or whatever you want to call it, on her particular claim had expired. And she ended up having to get a lawyer involved and having to have the lawyers file a letter, blah, 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 which of course eats into the amount of money that she would get in the end. But still, if she hadn't, then she would have been left with absolutely nothing. So these are things to watch out for, guys. If you've got tips, please share them in the comments below. Or send me an email with those, something maybe that I didn't cover. Because remember, we're trying to create a bit of a hive mind here. We're trying to help each other win financially and be successful. So you could do that, as I mentioned many times, in the comments below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or at fustianfinance@gmail.com.